Be Your Best You, the Passionate to Purpose podcast with David Delaney. And you're very welcome to this episode of Be Your Best You, Passion into Purpose. Just a reminder that there are some tickets available still for the workshop, which is coming up on March 7th on Zoom, and full details of that, which features myself and Paula Byrne from Apple Blossom Holistic and Ailish Fitzpatrick from Black Hill Woods Yoga Studio. Full details can be found on our website, beyourbestYou.ie/events. This morning we head to Sweden to talk about all things music with Jasmine Lyhagen from the band Cacti Road. Jasmine talks to us about life, love, and happiness. So, good afternoon, Jasmine Lyhagen, or shall I say, Halsningar och tack för att du är här.
Yes, both will do. Thank you. Tack så mycket, Dave. Nice to be here.
Thank you, Jasmine. Jasmine, where in the world are you?
I am in the southeast coast of Sweden right now.
Okay. What's the weather like there today?
Well, it's minus something, 3.5 degrees, I think, and it's some snow on the ground. It's quite quiet in the air. That's
Cool.
about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jasmine, I've met you through music and a general love of music and creativity. And I've always loved you for that. From the minute I met you, I knew we were kindred spirits in the creativity souls. But tell our listeners a little bit about the story of you.
Yes, that's the story of me. Are we talking musically now, or
Whatever you want.
Okay, so I suppose I am a very up and down person, in and out. I like the initial things that happens in life, the initial feelings, the initial thought. I put a lot of trust in that, and I think anything can be solved.
Okay.
Story of me. Okay, well, now
Okay.
we'll go into the physical.
Yeah. So when you said, just interestingly, you said the initial feelings, is that like a gut feeling? Is that like when you get something?
Yeah, that could be the gut feeling. Now, because we talked about music, I think I was a bit in that. When something happens, I tend to go, right, this is it. Let's go from here. It often feels right. The initial feeling about anything is often on the path where I think, it's a good listening in moment, if you can take it.
Okay. So what do you do? Like primarily, who is Jasmine Lyhagen? Musician, mother?
Yeah, I've
artist?
always, as you say, kicked the other way when I had to define anything. I always did, and I don't know. Yes, for sure, I can call myself musician, but I feel like a cheater sometimes when I call myself that. What is anything? Who am I? I do not know. I'm forever changing. I like to play a lot of music. I like to create, but creation is never still. So it's very hard to define.
Okay. So I suppose these podcasts and these chats we're having, we're going around the world talking to people and getting different insights, and the common thread is humanity. So we all know, and I don't want to talk about what's happening, because we all know what's happening. We can't change that. But are there any particular challenges for you in the last 12 months? In terms of what has happened in the global situation, any particular challenges for you, and would you like to maybe share your response or how you dealt with those challenges?
Well, it's been an interesting last year, to say the least. The challenges that I've experienced are, very much on a personal note. I've had previous to this year, I had some kind of a lot of issues with my health the last 10 years. So 2020, I was back in the saddle, or just like beginning to get myself up in the saddle. And that was the beginning of January. And in March, I got very sick. I developed some kind of lung problem. And that kind of I spent at least to September with that, and having to walk very slowly, and singing was with a bit out of breath. But I went and I got my needles in my body, and I did put my herbs into, and because I had been going with health issues for quite some time, I was going, okay, I can solve this too. It's all happening for some reason in my little life, and I've been learning to slow down in this. But then that's just my own personal little story. Musically, Sweden was, as you know, we were still allowed to go outside and do things and give concerts. And first it was 50 people, and that was quite that musically works quite well for my little trio. So by then it was okay. It was more, could I be able to breathe to the songs? That was the main issue. But then, when we got down to 8 people, we had to throw the towel in, and I don't know. It's been very like this thing of. It seems like a lot of people, although it's been like a lot of fear. Like I feel we're fear-ridden society in generally, but we also have got the moment to have a bit of a break. I've had this thing all my life where I kind of, okay, well, I play a little bit of music every day. Even when I don't feel like it, I go and I play. I play a little bit. But this year, in September, October, I just went, I'm just going to watch movies now. And I felt guilty, but I watched the movie, and one more and one more. And a couple of weeks in on this lane with a bit of guilt, I was like going, you know what? Just relax the cax, Let's watch movies. And then it was great. I got totally brainwashed. And I thought, I might turn into a real film potato here, where I will stop doing anything, because the crisis, that it's always some crisis, whether it's global or internally. But it's good that there are certain markers that comes around. Winter solstice being one of them. So I was like, okay, come winter solstice, something will change. Then I'll pray a bit on the activity again. So even though I preferred to still the 21st watch a movie, I still felt it was changing. It was changing, and it's we've been working with an album in the last year, and it finished up. So all in all, I mean, it's mad. How do you call it when you're both outside the circle and you're inside the circle, and you just go, okay, I might have more anxiety going to bed at night, but I'm still good things are still happening, and it's kind of reminding of one step at a time.
It's interesting, like when you mentioned about playing a gig to 8 people, how does it feel to get up on stage and play a gig to an audience of 8?
Well, you know what? I'm one of those. I'm not Britney or anything, so I'm quite used to playing to 8 people. Well, it's happened before. It can be really nice. I mean, it can be absolutely amazing to play to 8 people. But the thing, it was like not financially, working itself out, and it's as I said, I play music, but I have to pick. It's a part time. I do part time with everything. Everything's in my life, so it needs to work itself out.
Okay, so if I were to ask you, Jasmine, and it's again, it's an interesting, and it's, well, I'll wait to hear your response. But if I were to ask you, have you a favorite song? What is it and why?
I mean, I've always like, oh no, please don't anyone ask that question. Because because of this thing that everything is always changing. Exactly. I often have the music on in the background, and I rather dance with things than but then sometimes it comes around and it grabs you. I have some songs that follows me around, and I'm thinking actually of 2 songs, one instrumental and one so that would be Le Petit Fleur, because it was the first song I remember ever hearing. So I kind of
Okay.
like to listen to that.
And what does that mean? What does liberty? What's the meaning of
The
the?
little flower, a little flower. But I mean, yeah, what does it mean? It completely took me when I heard it the first time, and I suppose it gives me some kind of comfort every time I listen to it. But one song that also follows me around is actually an Irish gentleman. It's John Spillan's "Hey Dreamer," not Dreamer, as you can hear. I mean, I might have lost a bit of the Irish touch here, but Dreamer, he keeps me. It's fantastic. I love it. It reminds me of so many good things when I hear it. It's because it's always a find and a search and a solution, and here we go again, and that kind of just reminds me of that. It's
Okay. And is there a particular lyric in that song? Or is it just the whole song as a piece that resonates with you, or?
well, the lyrics are really. I love the lyrics. You've forgotten who you are. You've forgotten where you're from. You forgot everything. Hey, dreamer, where did you find your dream? Where did you hide your dream? You're a bird in full flight. I mean, it's just
It's beautiful. It's lovely.
yeah.
I often remember our time spent in Dublin, and just say a bird in full flight, and not to say you're a bird. But quite often, I will say there were many mornings just brightened up by Jasmine coming into the office, like, hey, here she is. An inspiration, If I were to give you a magic power, here you go. Here's a magic power. What would you do with it?
Oh, a magic power that I was given, that could bring good things to everyone. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Like a magic wand or a magic lantern that you can only use once. What would you do? What would you choose to do with it?
Like, yes, I mean, you often think of those, if you had a superpower, which one would be?
That's the next question.
Oh, jeekers. What would I do? This is also, I mean, come on, because, you're in your little life and there's so many things you could wand about to make it, really perfected. But then again, would you like to? Because you might not experience so many things. But I mean, this globe certainly have room for a little bit of fairy dust or something to harmonize, to pull the anger out and bury it in the ground, or to let it go with the ravens. Was that a question? Yeah. Well, I would love to definitely like to be able to spread a wand and harmonize the world a bit. Sta calma, take it easy, somehow. And but it's all very etheric, the things I'm thinking now, isn't it? I mean, it's
They're
not
good. They're good.
Here is a pocket full of money. It's not like that. It's more.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask you a question, or just one thing that just came into my head. What did you want to be when you grew up, or what do you want to be when you grow up? It's something that Did you always want to be a musician? What did you want to be?
No, I always sang, but that wasn't on the top of my list. No, I did really want to be an actress. That's what I wanted to do, and it took me quite a few years to realize I was quite a shit actress. I really I like the physical stumbling around and all that, and I like playing with sounds and words, but that's about it. But I was always pulled towards theater and fun and that, and definitely singing. I was always singing, but that brought me great joy, and dancing. There was not a moment still. But the music kind of came and just it fell into, it created. It's kind of a portal of possibilities that open.
So with the band at the moment, are you recording sessions remotely, or are you just taking a break? Like what's happening with the music at the moment?
No, well, we finished up this album and we went into the because I had my TV or film break. I was like, I'm not going at the moment. But no, we are actually we have a trio, possibly going into we rehearsing with another musician, a new drummer. But it's the guitarist Mick and myself. We are writing quite a lot at the moment, and I'm getting a lot into. I'm rehearsing new instruments, so I'm actually gone into the Irish rhythm bones and then the bongo drums, and I'm really nerding about. And actually, there's completely new songs stemming out from rhythms. It's a lot of fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Jasmine, if I were to ask you, again, another very deep question. I know you love the deep questions. Bring it on. Who inspires you and why?
I get inspired by a lot of people all the time. I mean, even in the Facebook flow, you can find inspiring stories of kids that are overcoming cruelties in different ways, and seeing when they don't give a flying about it. It's I find that inspiring. I find a lot of people inspiring. I watched a movie the other night, as it happens, called Lucky, and by this late Harry Dean Stanton, who he was 90 years when he recorded this movie, and he was the lead in the movie, and he died 2 weeks before the premiere at 91. And the movie was very touching. It was moving, and his performance in it, and then he was so inspiring. And then I had to go and read about him, and he was even more inspiring. It was a lot of him in the movie, turned out. A lot of his, he was, he's supposed to be an old person, and on the way to, passing over. And all the questions that were there, and with the vulnerability that he presented, it was amazing. And I suppose that's the thing, vulnerability in all sense. When you kind of reach authenticity, that really moves me, that inspires me. I think brave people, be it for them fighting for someone else, or overcoming difficult things. And like I'm choosing to be brave now, even though I'm really, really scared. I'm putting myself out there, and I'm letting other people watch me as I do it. Yeah, that's inspiring, I think.
Okay. Tell us where we can find more about Cacti Road, your band.
What did you say?
Where can people find your albums? Where can people listen to some of your work?
Yeah, we're on the usual search engines as Spotify. Now I might have to specify Cacti Road. It doesn't tumble easily in the mouth, I think. But so it's like a cactus, but it's TAI in the end, Cacti Road. So Spotify and iTunes and all these places. We got a few videos up on YouTube.
Excellent. Jasmine, one last question. Okay, I couldn't let you go without asking you this question.
Go.
Your 13-year-old self is standing in front of you. What do you say to them?
My 13-year-old. Yes. Have a break. Quit school for a year. Just take a break, go up and hike in the north, or go and, speak Spanish and learn flamenco in the south. And then come back. It's fine. It's no stress, no bother, You don't have to do it all, to be honest, or, it doesn't define who you are, When you meet people and, you see the sparkle in their eyes, it's like, that's what matters. And you can do this. You might sometimes need longer time. Sometimes you need shorter times. That's what I would tell my little 13-year-old.
Excellent. Jasmine, it's a pleasure as always. And
It's a
say
pleasure.
thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your time. And as we say in Ireland, keep her lit.
Keep her lit.
Keep her lit.
Have a good one, Dave. Thank you so much
No
for
problem. We'll talk to you
tuning
soon.
into this plan.
No worries. Thank you, Jasmine.
Talk soon.
So you can head over to YouTube and check out Jasmine and the band on the channel Cacti Road. That's it for this week. Thanks for joining in. And if you know anyone who'd like to be featured on the podcast, just get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Join us next week. See you then.